Hi guys, today we're going to show you how to treat a donkey that is suffering from white line disease. Okay. One of the common ailments that donkeys suffer is white line disease, which is a bacterial infection of the lining between the hoof wall and the frog. Pete, let's show them what we're talking about.
These donkeys have it minimally at this point, but you can see where it's started to grow right here. There's not much left. Easy girl.
So, with white line disease, the hoof wall will actually start to deteriorate and separate. And since you don't typically shoe a donkey, it's a little bit tougher to treat, especially when conditions are as wet as they have been lately.
Alright, so we're gonna get started. Since these donkeys are being pretty passive right now, we're very fortunate that we have donkeys that allow us to do this.
We like to start in the back.
And you want to gently, we normally have a tool that looks more like a screwdriver that has a softer edge, but you can clean out the frog this way. And you want to be very gentle because you can injure the frog. When we first started doing this, we kind of steered clear of it, but once we got a little bit more advanced, we realized that we could clean it and help them out a little bit more and keep the rocks out of there for them. And then you're going to start going around kind of searching for pockets.
Now the frog is that dark V shape that is
right here
in the very center.
That's the frog. And
the frog is attached to the bone structure of the hoof.
And when you do find a pocket, like what I found here, you don't want to go too deep. These donkeys don't have too much of an issue anymore, but you want to stop when you see the white right there.
If you start scraping out the white, then you're actually scraping out
healthy tissue.
And even if there is some stuff packed into it, it's better to just clean it out and not put stuff on it sometimes, depending on how deep the pockets are, because some bacteria is always good. Okay.
There's the copper tox. Once it's in there, you don't have to put too much. Normally, it's been so wet lately, I'm doing a little bit more than what we usually do. Normally, you only want to put it in the pocket that's an issue. This is more of a preventative measure, just because we've had so much rain in the past month and a half.
Yeah.
So, we'll do the other one in the back.
Hi, Pixie.
And again, we are very lucky to have donkeys that allow us to do this. When we first started, we tied them up. They were pretty resistant to it, but they didn't have the issue, or it really didn't develop into an issue until a few months after us having them. They actually came to us with the white line. We kind of dated it back a little bit, and so these donkeys had it a little bit before we got them, and it wasn't a really bad issue until 2 or 3 months after we had them, and it was because they were on different pasture, perhaps softer ground, and just exposure to stuff. There were also horses here before we bought our house, so that could have been an issue as well.
Now there are 2 different types of
treatment
that you can put into the donkey's hooves. One of them is called copper tox, which is that gross green stuff that we have put into the ketchup bottle. And the reason why it is in a ketchup bottle is because when that stuff gets out, as you can tell on the paper towel, it goes everywhere and it stains and it smells really bad. So it's important to wear good thick gloves that do not have direct contact with your skin to avoid staining your hands. And so that is copper tox, and then the other one is called thrush buster,
which is purple.
And thrush buster is purple, and they basically just treat different types of bacteria for white line, but they both treat white line and keep the hooves healthy. Copper tox is kind of notorious for coming in a container that spills easily, so it's better, I think, to put it in a different container, personally. Thrush buster, not so much a problem. Now, what we are experiencing right now is a typical problem while we are working on hooves. Even though our donkeys are well behaved, they do not like pigs. Now Finley is notorious for making the donkeys angry when they are getting their hooves cleaned out. Because she just wants some love. Don't you? You just want some love. Yeah. Hi, baby. I will say that certain donkeys, you should start in the back because they like to go to the bathroom. Sometimes donkeys can get nervous and irritable, and that can lead to them going to the bathroom, possibly on top of you. So be aware of that. Now again, not really seeing any real pockets. The other concern that you have to watch for when you're in the back of the donkey is not just a donkey that kicks, but a donkey that hits you with their tail, because I can tell you, it is not fun to get hit in the eye with one of those tails. And I think Pixie's doing it on purpose right now. So again, we can see where she's grown out some stuff, and because there's some separation, the fact that I can get this tip in between the hoof wall and the bottom of her hoof is a problem. So even though I might not be able to scoop that out, I'm still going to need to put something down there, because that tells me that there is some bacteria growing, causing the wall to separate, because the separation is not normal. And I put it over the entire hoof because if it's right there, I can't rule out that it might be over here too. So this is more preventative in this hoof. And that's how you clean out some donkey's hooves. Okay, so the last thing that's important, especially if your donkeys aren't used to being handled, is you have to reward them for good behavior. And our donkey's favorite treat in the world happens to be animal crackers. Now if your donkeys are used to being fed treats, then great, you can hand it to them however you want. But if you're uncomfortable, you can also put it in your palm and they'll eat it out. Now our donkeys are used to just gently taking it from our fingers, although they get kind of competitive. Alright, I've got one more for each of you. There you go. Willow.
Willow.
There you go, that's all. There's no more.
Good girls.
No more.
Good girls, yeah. You gonna follow me now? You gonna follow me now? Alright. Solemn Mountain Farm. Over and out.